Can anybody tell me the meaning of
Yeah, I
dark
think
psychology?
this is Gilbert. I'm trying just to try the way I understand it. Dark psychology is it's a science because psychology
Yes,
is a science. It's a science on
yes,
art of manipulation and mind control. That's what
yes.
I think it is.
It is like understanding. The definition is understanding how people manipulate others, right? They have different strategies to manipulate others, how to to get what they want from others. So some people have those tactics, some people have those strategies, how other people can come under their control and they can get whatever they want from them. So dark psychology is basically on that, how people manipulate you. But rather, other than that, only manipulation is not dark psychology. In dark psychology, we also learn about people who are serial killers, people who are evil, having evil mind, and what crimes do they commit, what type of criminals they are. People become serial killers. Why do they become serial killers, and what all they do while murdering people? There are many people who have done this, who are serial killers. Some people use, you must be knowing NLP. What is NLP? Neuro linguistic programming,
Yes,
NLP.
ma'am, we have superficial knowledge, but yes, we are familiar with that as well.
Yes, yes. So many of the people, they use this NLP as well. So in dark psychology, basically we learn about three types of people. We learn about psychopaths, we learn about sociopaths, and in dark psychology there are three different groups, which is known as dark triads. So one is Machiavellianism, one is narcissism, and the third one is sociopaths or psychopaths. So these three kind of people, they come under dark psychology. So basically, dark psychology is this, and we learn about these people, how they manipulate, how they commit crimes, how they become criminals. So there are different topics in dark psychology. So now you can run the PPT, which uh, Sanya can
Ma'am,
start.
if you don't mind, can you repeat the three types of people? Um,
Dark, yes, triads. You call them triads. One is Machiavellianism, okay. Second is narcissist, and third is they are psychopaths or sociopaths. Three types, three categories. Okay,
thank you so much, ma'am.
yeah. So you can keep moving the slides, Tanya. Yes. So this course is about, yeah,
Ma'am is showing
wait.
off.
Dark psychology, and as we know that darkness is in all of us, but how we use that darkness depends on us. Some people take it in other way, they use it in different ways, they become antisocial people. Some people don't use the darkness which is inside them, but there is darkness in each and every one of us, okay. So how you take it and how you uh, present it, it is up to you how you take it. So this is what dark psychology says. And can you make this slide little bigger, because it's
इसको wider कर दें
not
please ताकि
readable.
everyone can readable for everyone.
Zoom करना है उसको. I am not able to read it. We all have power to or even into the life. We all have the power to do that. Yes, yes, thank you. There is a lot of deception, both intentional or unintentional. So people do make mistakes, people do crime, become criminals. It is either intentionally they do it or it becomes unintentional. So my goal is to make you aware of the pitfalls and avoid them, understand human psychology better, and become a better person. Judge of character or develop understanding, empathy for both yourself and others. So, people who are psychopaths or sociopaths, they don't have empathy. So, we have two different things, sympathy and empathy, right? You must be knowing the difference between sympathy and empathy. So, these people, they don't have empathy towards anybody, anyone else. The next slide. Tanya, the next slide. Done? Yes. So, definition: dark psychology is the phenomenon of which people use tactics. They use their tactics, they use their strategies to motivate, persuade, manipulate, and coerce to get what they want. So, these people use their own tactics, use their own strategies. They motivate you, they manipulate you, and get and achieve what they want. Next slide. So here, in dark psychology, we also need to learn different types of pains, like physical pain, bodily pain. We suffer from pain in our body, like joints or bones, wherever the pain is. So this is basically physical pain. Damages our body. Our receptors send a signal to spinal cord. This is all signs. Then the signal goes to brain, and then it comes back to us. So this is what we uh, have, that pain in our physical body. Next slide. Psychological pain. Now, what is psychological pain? Some trigger, some memories, some trauma in our lives, past, something which had happened in our past lives. So that troubles us because it is there somewhere in our subconscious mind. Our brain processes the perception as a threat. As a consequence, a physical reaction could take place. So this psychological pain can be in different forms, like anxiety, stress, depression, or there are different psychological problems. People who are having some problem in their brain, they have psychotic problems, they become psychotic, they have schizophrenic, they become, they have bipolar disorders. There are different psychological disorders. So these are all psychological pains. And why does it happen? It happens because of some memory or some trauma which had happened in our past life, in previous childhood or sometime back. So that remains in our subconscious mind and it is there. And then when we grow, it comes out. Some people try to balance it, some people are not able to balance and control, and then they turn into criminals. And then this is how dark psychology is uh, developed. Next slide. Someone afraid of dark might experience throat pain or have trouble breathing. Some people who are afraid of darkness may not go to a dark place, may not go to a jungle or a forest because they are afraid of darkness. And when they are having that fear, people have pain in their throat and they are not able to talk or they are not able to breathe properly. A child doesn't fear the dark until he or she has been told. A child might not be knowing what is fear and what is darkness until and unless you tell the child that don't go to such a place, don't go in that room because it is not lighted, there is no light, there is darkness over there. So the child gets that fear and the child will not enter that room. So until and until you tell the child will not understand. So this way it is a mindful fear. It is in your mind. Yes, next slide. Another example. Wait. Can you please zoom it a little? Yes. Yes. Fear of the unknown. A harsh sound, a sudden noise, sudden move. We have instincts that are very deeply rooted that give us warning signals about threats. Some people, they are very scared of sounds, noises, especially children. Children are afraid of sudden noise, and like an example, like small children are scared of when you use your vacuum cleaner. So they think that there is some monster. So this is a fear in their mind. Next. Next slide. Some, yes, some are scared of spiders. Even I am scared of spiders. Why? Because we've been taught like that. See, spider, it falls on you, or if the sting of the spider may harm you. So that is the fear, because we have been taught like that. We have been told like that. So people are scared of spiders. Next slide. Another example, worrying about the future. How do we come up with the negative scenarios that worry us? We have seen such experiences in others, or we have experienced negative things in ourselves. So when we see somebody going through some pain or suffering, so we have that negative fear in ourselves, or maybe we have so we get those negative feelings in ourselves. Thus we draw the conclusion that those events could happen to us in the future. So the conclusion which we get is that fear maybe somebody else had experienced, or I might have experienced when I was young. Our worries are irrational given the very unlikely chance to those things happening. Sometimes our fears are not rational, they are irrational. We just think that something might happen. Supposing we are going, like we are driving a car. We all know that we are driving a car, there is too much traffic. What if we meet with an accident? So this is irrational fear. Anything can happen anytime. Even if we are walking on the road, you might meet with an accident. It's not that if you're driving a car or going by an aeroplane or by a train, you meet with an accident. So it is just irrational fears. Yes. Next slide. Next. So irrational fears, it is phobia. Irrational fears are phobias. Phobias are where the fears become uh, too much. Like we are scared of something and that goes on and on and on, and it turns into phobia. Like supposing I am scared of water. Now, if that goes on continuously, then I will stop going near water. So I have phobia of water. Some people have phobia of height. They don't go on heights. Some people have phobia of animals. Some people have phobia of you know falling from up. So these are different type of phobias which are irrational. It is not that really it is going to happen to you. It is just in your mind that yes, we think it is going to happen, but actually it is not going to happen. So phobia, what happens when we have this? The symptoms of phobia are very similar to those of general anxiety. When we face anxiety, like dizziness, nausea, excess of sweating, trembling. So these are all symptoms of anxiety, and we have the same symptoms when we are facing with irrational fears. So when these fears come to us, we face the same symptoms. Next slide. Somebody sees that there is an accident, the car uh, caught fire. So some people get that fear that if I sit in the car, what happens if the car, catches fire? I might die. So people, with that fear will not go in the car, will not sit in the car, and will not drive the car. But still, if we have to travel, we have to go and travel by car. Next slide. Still, we consider driving almost every day. Even after knowing it, we have to, because we have to travel, we have to go for our work, we have to travel by car. We aren't, why aren't we scared every day we step into a vehicle? Then why aren't we scared of it? Now, we all know that when COVID 19 was there, coronavirus, everybody, each and every single person in this whole world was scared, having that fear in the mind that what if I catch cold? What if I have fever? What if I touch a person or touch this place? And if I suffer with COVID, I might die. Because at that time there were too many deaths which had happened. So that fear was there inside everybody's heart, everybody's mind. And this was not irrational, that was rational. Yes, everybody was scared. Next. So this is how people were treated, and we got over it. And now that COVID has gone and we have come back to our same position, people are going out, everything is come back to normal. But still, somewhere, still there are some viruses. We keep hearing that somewhere COVID is still there, but not the same which was in 2019 and 20 at that time. Yes, next slide. Airplane crash. We see so many times, we hear so many times that planes crash and so many people die. According to 2015 statistics from the economists, the probability of your plane going down is around 1 in 5.5, 5.4 million. But still, some people have that fear, and they are so scared in sitting in the plane. They don't travel by air. They would like to travel by train or some other uh, conveyance, but not by plane, because they know they are going to fall from a height. So that fear is there in their mind. Next slide. Still, some people are afraid of flying, but still, life is to go on, and people have to move on. So if you have to travel from one place to other, which is quite far away, you have to travel by flights. So you don't have any other option. So our fears make sense to an extent. They are based on the horror of seeing an experience that is being real and therefore realistic repeat itself. This is what happens. Why do we fear? Because it is a horror that we have experienced or we have seen or we have read somewhere or experienced by ourselves. So it becomes realistic for us. But the maths behind some of these fears blows away all common sense. One might be more likely to choke on a piece of steak than to die in a roller coaster. So some people are like that. They would rather prefer to die in a roller coaster rather than get choked with a stick in the throat. So this is just a saying. People get scared like this. Saida raised her hand. What happened, Saida? Nothing. Explain it in Urdu. Okay. See, I was asked to take the class in English because I think there were many international students, but उर्दू में भी समझाना है कि डार्क साइकोलॉजी होता क्या है, लोगों को कैसे मैनिपुलेट करना है, कैसे बहलाना है, फुसलाना है अपनी बातों में, अपनी बात मनाने के लिए कैसे लोगों को अ, अपने कंट्रोल में लेके आना है। तो बेसिकली वो होता है डार्क साइकोलॉजी। तो डार्क साइकोलॉजी में फियर भी एक पार्ट होता है कि जिसकी वजह से लोग डरे हुए रहते हैं और डर की वजह से लोग कई बार क्राइम कर बैठते हैं या फिर कभी उनके जीवन में कोई ऐसा ट्रॉमा हुआ हो, कोई ऐसा इंसिडेंट हुआ हो जिसकी वजह से वो उनके दिमाग में वो सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में बैठा रहता है और वो कभी बाहर निकल आता है। तो पीपल उस टाइप से रिएक्ट करने लगते हैं। तो फियर में फोबिया आ जाता है। फोबिया मतलब जो डर है आपका वो बहुत ज्यादा
Sorry, ma'am. Can you please speak in English?
Okay.
We can't understand that.
Somebody told me to speak in Urdu, so I was just explaining what is dark psychology. तो बेसिकली ये हम वही सीख रहे हैं कि फियर क्या है, डर क्या है, फोबिया क्या है, क्यों हम डरते हैं। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड प्लीज। But most people don't think in numbers. Most people are very emotional and calculated thinkers. They simply fear, they don't do maths. They simply fear the possibility of something negative to occur. Some people don't think it, logically. Maths means logically. They just think it and they start reacting. They don't have calculative mind. They simply have that fear, the possibility of something negative will happen. So that fear is there in their mind. So they don't think logically what is logic behind it, whether it is irrational, whether it is rational, whether it is right or wrong. But just if it is said or if it is seen, then that fear is there in me, in my heart. So I am scared. Next slide. Extreme phobias. Yes, this is the same thing. Phobias. Many people have it. Agoraphobia. What is agoraphobia?
The phobia of height.
No, 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 no. In crowd, people don't uh, mingle or they don't like to be in crowd. If they are in crowd, they feel scared. Agoraphobia.
Ma'am, then what is social phobia? Because I have heard that social phobia is related to something that people are not open to experiences and they don't want people around them. They don't mingle with them and all.
That is,
Maybe it's just a synonym.
Yeah, it might
agoraphobia
be.
is phobia of crowd. You don't like to be in crowd. You feel scared if you are in a crowded place.